Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents. In today's episode, my parents cut my beard when I was sleeping. Toxic mom is threatening to evict me because I refuse to give in anymore. Entitled Step Monster. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. My parents cut my beard when I was sleeping. My parents had a strict clean shave policy when I was growing up, but now I am an adult and now lives on my own. I had grown a kind of long French beard during the COVID lockdown and was visiting my family once the travel restrictions were relaxed. My parents are hardcore Islamophobes and they were horrified seeing my Muslim beard, and they asked me to shave it because people might think I have converted to Islam and it's going to tarnish my family's reputation. I basically told them to get off and mind about their pubes rather than my beard. Today I was sleeping on the couch and my mom cut my beard off and now it's an ugly mess and I have no option but to shave it off, and I can't fucking leave this place as I am under 14-day home quarantine as I traveled from another state and I feel they have one for now. If you can handle leaving it like that until you leave, it would probably upset them even more. Petty revenge. He already shaved it off because it probably feels uncomfortable. Also, refuse to eat with them. When they ask why, tell them the food is haram. Cut her hair. Tell her you did it because you were worried that she looked Muslim. When she states that doesn't make any sense, plaster on a huge smile and say exactly. Cutting someone's hair when they're asleep actually counts as assault in some places. And even a hate crime, depending on the reasoning. I remember there were some assholes that shaved an Amish man and they were charged with a hate crime for it. I can't decide what aspect is more alarming, the physical assault, because that's what it is, the racism or the entitlement. Being trapped there during quarantine is heinous. Perhaps contact the local authorities to finish quarantine elsewhere, as you've been victimized in your current location. You are an awesome person for showing this much care. Bide your time. On the 15th day you go buy a bottle of Nair hair remover and mix it into Mommy Dearest shampoo. Then you leave with the CYA never folks, block them on phone and don't look back. This is a boss move and they definitely need to feel this revenge. Put it in all the shampoo/conditioner bottles. Even the spares. Many years ago when I had roommates, somebody kept using my shampoo and conditioner. I started keeping my stuff in my room but would sometime forget. After a while I had enough, so I left decoy bottles with Nair in the shower. I was never 100% sure which roommate it was, but one was already balding in his early 20s, so I like to think I helped him along. So they effectively told you that you matter less than their neighbors' opinions of them. That sounds like grounds to eliminate or at least minimize contact with them. File a police report for assault. If you get a sympathetic person on the phone and they have the manpower to indulge it, perhaps they can send out a marked police vehicle so you can make a report in person. I believe officers are currently preferring to speak with people at an appropriate social distance in the wide open air to keep themselves available to respond to situations. Perhaps the neighbors would like to watch you reporting your parents for a hate crime. I would think that being assaulted in your sleep would be a reasonable exception to allow you to change quarantine locations. Admittedly, there is very little risk for a repeat occurrence because you only had the one beard and now it is gone. However, insane people don't always have reasonable thought processes. Who knows what they will decide is within their rights to change. Shave your head. Then tell them they better be light sleepers because this will be their new hairdo. Don't actually attempt to shave them, just insinuate and be sus to the point they won't get any sleep. Do all this while growing your beard out. Or buy a Quran and start quoting it whenever they invite people over. Wow, that's terrible. You visit them and they repay you by cutting your beard? I would not visit them again for a long time after that. Can't you move to a hotel for the rest of your quarantine? Better than with those nuts. Toxic mom is threatening to evict me because I refuse to give in anymore. Background, story and comments. So, I have a pretty entitled, manipulative, and toxic mom. I nearly died at birth, but thanks to the doctors that helped me, I ended up living. At first in my life I had major behavior issues due to mental and physical disabilities, which included pitching fits and biting people. This was mainly in elementary school and I slowly grew out of it, only having slight lapses in high school unfortunately. I was picked on a lot and ended up growing to be extremely awkward. What made it worse was the family dynamic where most of the time, I was with mom and my stepdad. When he died is the earliest I remember her changing into this mean, spiteful person. She verbally abused me, including yelling and cussing me out. She would manipulate me whenever I tried to stand up for myself, this is important, and was all out awful towards me to the point where I became depressed, and at times suicidal and self-harming, without knowing why I felt this way. I was confused and scared at times and ended up growing to have high anxiety. I never had a job because of it, but did whatever I could to make up for my joblessness. I'm 22 now. I have attempted to get a job a lot through the years, but have been unable to find one that best fits my disabilities and that I can do, though the constant anxiety has made it more difficult. Just to give a slight list of what I've done for her, I do my regular chores such as taking care of the cat, doing dishes, taking trash out, etc. I would do minimal things as well, such cooking/making almost every meal, helping her with whatever she asks, giving her drinks, making her lunches occasionally. I would literally do everything she asked of me the best I could. I did mess up a lot, and she would let me know immediately when I did, which often led to her talking bad to me in some way. I ignored it for the most part and took the punishment of being yelled at because I knew it was my fault. Always my fault. I slowly came to realize through extensive research who she was, finding out about toxic relationships and manipulation through various means including Reddit. I still battled it whether I was wrong or not, because I was prone to forgetfulness and misunderstanding things easily. Then, it happened. I started going to family members about it on my dad's side, and one by one, they started telling me their experiences with her. I was so happy I wasn't alone anymore, so happy that I had people to go to about this without being afraid. What made it better, to a degree, is that due to some struggles, my brother and his girlfriend had to ask mom if they could move in. They got to see that I was right, as not even a month in, she showed her true colors. I ended up learning a lot from them, which was never easy to listen to about her. She lied to them, often made rude comments, and would talk in a self-righteous tone. I started paying attention more when I did something for her to discover how entitled she was. I started attempting to stand up for myself, calling her out for things she did against me. I mainly only talked to her about her tone and how she doesn't use basic manners like saying please or thank you. I left the insults alone, seeing that if I couldn't even get her to talk to me with a shred of dignity, without a constant spiteful and entitled tone, then why would I try to fight against insults? All this arguing made me exhausted, but when she threatened to backhand me in a car and left me roughly half a mile away in 80 to 90 degree weather without so much as a drop of water or my cane, I ended up eventually giving up on our relationship, because before then, even after everything I've heard, I still was desperate to save our relationship. I was hurt, betrayed, and needed to get away for a few days, and so I ended up contacting my friend and stayed with her for a weekend. Everything changed then. I didn't know what she did was illegal, but apparently I was considered a vulnerable adult due to my disabilities. If I didn't have money or my friend, who knows if I was going to give a heat stroke and pass out or a flare-up bad enough I couldn't walk, etc. 2 weeks ago I also had an ear infection which we went to the ER for. I was in horrible stabbing pain with an ear so swollen that it was completely shut. I couldn't hear out of that ear, which was a weird experience. Every day during the ear infection, she would push me to do things, especially make breakfast at 6 a.m. I made it clear to her that I wouldn't while I had this ear infection, but I did make her coffee each morning as that didn't involve a lot of standing. She kept saying she would do the dishes, which in turn piled up during the week due to my inability to stand for long periods of time, had vertigo basically. Instead she would come up with excuses such as using her arthritis, I have arthritis too, and saying that she didn't know when my brother and his girl would be home, because they shower when they get home, despite her having the ability to just ask them. I ended up spending 3.5 hours, with one short break, doing the dishes after I was healed enough to. It was torment that could have been easily avoided if she didn't lie. And yeah, I made it clear I was upset at the way she treated during this ear infection, but she didn't care. The most recent event will be posted in the comments, cause it's too long for this post and I'm not sure if two-parters are an option. Your mom is an abuser and sounds like a narcissist. From here on out, document everything, including taking pictures if you can, and make sure your brother knows what happens and is still willing to back you up. I wouldn't put it past your mom to call the police and play the victim. Given all the challenges you face, you should qualify for disability. Is there someone on your dad's side of the family that you can trust to help you? Could you stay with them while you go through the process? You need to contact Adult Protective Services and let them know what's happening. They should be able to help you get benefits and perhaps another place to live. Just make sure that your abusive mother is not anywhere on your bank account or listed as a payee. When you say you can't use your phone, can it be used to record things? Like, does the camera functionality still work? If so, I have an idea. Call her bluff. Record an abusive interaction between you two, keep your phone in your back pocket, and walk off. Leave. Let her call the police, let her waste her time, and then give them the evidence of abuse. Go to Family Services. Seek help, refuse to be placed back into your mother's home. Entitled Step Monster. I am the mother of 2 beautiful daughters. My ex and I divorced when my girls were 2 and 4. It was a nasty divorce, but once it was over, we actually started to become friends. He remarried, and that's when everything went to hell. She was nice to my girls at first, but after they married she was a B***tch to them. She didn't like me at all. And it why since we never had a conversation. She controls my ex and never allowed him to talk to me, and we have kids together. Anyway, yesterday my oldest was married, and my ex-husband's wife planted her ass on the aisle seat, closest to the bride, my daughter. She perched there like it was her daughter getting married. I just think it was disrespectful and in poor taste. It's a moment I'll never get back. I don't know why this woman, if you want to call her that, felt like she was entitled to sit in the aisle seat closest to my daughter. I suppose when you get to see the wedding pictures, casually ask what that is stuck in stepmother's teeth, where she can overhear you, and see how long she scrutinizes every picture. Get her photoshopped out of all the wedding photos. I want to thank everyone for the wonderful support. It's been hard not posting this shit on Facebook. I keep my composure for my daughters. And that's hard for me to do since I have a big mouth, sometimes rolling on the floor laughing. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.